together. We can all just fall apart. We can live, we can love, yes, we can spark. We can give, we can hold, we can die together.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Choose your command. You have chosen
the Face-Off Hockey Show.
I mean, hockey is my life. I've got on hockey underwear right now.
The Face-Off Hockey Show. With Scotty Waz. Sean O.
breakaway. Takes 2
And the P-Boys, Johnny and Mark with the C.
Yeah, baby.
Here's your host for the Face-Off Hockey Show, Scotty Waz.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to Face-Off Hockey Show. I'm indeed your host, Scotty Waz, here for the next 75 hours. We're doing a marathon show, ladies and gentlemen. Game 7 action in your face. As we will be watching, well, I won't be watching it because I will be looking over this way, and that makes for bad YouTubes, apparently. So we've got that going for us. We started a little early because Mark with the C has got some fun times coming up tonight for himself.
Indeed, I do. I have. I took off this summer, and hello, by the way. I took off the summer from playing Deadeye. I decided not to be a full-time goalie. I wanted to devote my life to my family and my career and my pursuit of things outside of hockey.
Being a part-time player?
Full-time. Yeah, I'm just crushing a lot. That's right.
Good.
But when they need me, I still got to go back. So tonight they need me.
Because even though they as much as you want to pull out, they just pull you back in.
That's right. It's true.
Yes.
I mean, I every time. That's why I have a family.
Yeah, the hook brings you back.
Because of all those times I tried to pull out and it didn't work.
Yeah, that's true, Johnny P. The P stands for Popper.
Yep.
Good times. And Johnny, you're here early because you live there.
I do. And I start the show normally.
You make the show start and stop.
I do. It was going to be bad. I mean, so I was working in Olney this week.
Wow.
Yeah. I only had to. We got a lot of stuff done on Monday and Tuesday, so I didn't have to go to Olney today. So that helped out a lot. I made it home on time. If not, I think I might still be driving in this. The monsoon outside is fantastic right now.
Is that Chuck County, Olney?
It is Moco.
Moco, okay. And
yeah.
It's all thrown together down there.
It's down there by the Bethesda area, Bethesda-Rockville area.
Bethesda?
Yep.
Good times.
It's down by me.
Down by Mark.
I know.
That's great. Well, any fun happenings this past week, gentlemen?
Had a good weekend.
Yeah?
Yeah, things went well. It was fun. We went to an Orioles game on Sunday.
Very nice.
People. The Orioles didn't show up, but there were a lot of fans there. It was pretty awesome, and the weather this weekend was fantastic. Very fantastic. So yeah, I went 3 for 3 over the weekend. I had 3. It was a winning streak. 3 full days, back-to-backs.
Oh, nice.
So.
I thought you actually the Orioles were so bad that they put you in as a pinch hitter early in the game.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna go pinch runner, but they decided to just put me in.
Yeah, it's like, listen, just take some hacks at it, we'll be fine.
I'm ready to play.
Buck was like, we just need people on base. Go for it.
If Rene Gonzalez can hack it with this team for years, I'm pretty sure you can do good for at least a game.
Yep, true story. And I got new glasses coming.
Ooh.
2 pair, actually, just like Nelly. I got a new pair of Oakley glasses with the clear frames so that I can wear them out and about.
Who are you, Brett Cecil?
Yes. Chris Sabo
Oh.
And
Nice.
and then I got a set of the photochromatic transition lenses for my Oakleys that I can switch lenses in and out of. Also in the prescription. So I had a good run of things recently. Yeah, the new glasses should maybe be here next week. I will rock them out on the show so that everyone can see them.
Nice. Very nice.
But yeah, that's basically been my week so far. Lots of driving.
And a delay on his camera, I guess.
Yes, I was like, did I lose you? Did he lose you? Did she lose you? Who lost you?
No one lost anybody. We're still
Well,
here, Mark.
Are we
How about
still
your weekend?
broadcasting over the interwebs? Is John? Could it be the reign of biblical proportions? Did that take him out?
I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Yeah, you
He's
stopped
still
on-
there.
Yeah.
I'm not dead yet.
It's just merely a flesh wound. Bring out your... Anyway. Yeah, alright, well. Mark with the C.
My
Aside
weekend was
from
pretty
dead-eyeing
good.
it up.
Went to a Nationals game, which was fun. That was Saturday during the day. We were going to go Friday, but again, shit tons of rain kind of prevented that. The Orioles have been canceled the last 2 nights. I played for Cruisers. I don't know. That was disjointed. I realize.
Yeah, it's really odd how that flowed.
I was thinking more about the rain and less about my weekend. But this weekend, I subbed for the Cruisers on Sunday as well. I got lit up for 9 goals, but I still played well somehow. That's because they don't really have a defense. But it was fun. It was good to skate with those guys again.
Fun time. Now, are you like Missy Elliott and you can't stand the rain?
Yeah, I'm not feeling it, bro.
Do you guys have pictures of? Do you guys just have your away jersey has Florida and your home jerseys have Georgia for the Cruisers? Like, how does that work?
Nice, I like it.
Nice.
I like that one.
I think so. I think that would
And
be, I think that would work.
the alternate jersey just has a single Band-Aid on it.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Either that or I was thinking just a line.
Yeah, something like that. I think the Band-Aid pulls it all together.
That would be good. That would be good right there. Their black jerseys have a Band-Aid on it, right?
That's racist. Listen, Donald Sterling. We don't need any of this on our show.
Sorry. I don't have $2.5 million to be fined either.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Ooh, that was bad.
Terrible. I can't wait for the lawsuits to happen on that one. 'Cause that's gonna be a hoot and a half. My weekend was typical bullshit. This medicine is kicking my ass. So I'm sleeping all the time.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great.
That's what I do.
I literally slept all of Friday until like I woke up at 8:30. I'm just like, oh shit, I gotta go out, and then proceeded to wake up, shower up, and get out there. So it was quite the time. Here's a question for you guys. Was it Flying Dog came out with a new beer starting in Memorial Day?
Yes.
The Old Bay season beer.
It's gonna be delightful. I forget what the actual name of it is, but I can't wait to try it.
Yeah, it's an Old Bay ale, and
So I should make sure I have some of that at the house.
well, I have to get it. We'll have to get it during draft time because it doesn't start until Memorial Day, and I leave
that's
the
what I
day.
mean.
Oh yeah, okay. Then at that point, yes, we'll be fine. For the Big Stand Invitational, the nightcap.
Yes, which reminds me, it's been an entire week since I said that I was going to mock up the shirts and get them out, and I have not.
Oh, listen, you're traveling to Oni. These things happen.
Damn it.
These things,
God,
it's
I
all right.
suck as an individual.
It's okay. Listen, you're doing too much for the show. It's okay.
We have hotels, though, people. Hotels.
Thank God for that.
We have a place to stay for the draft.
Yay, staying for drafts. And what else was I gonna say? That was about it. Yeah, the weekend was pretty craptastic for me because there's nothing going on. I work all weekends. Hey, we finally got spring. It's 22 degrees Celsius out here, which I think is around 75 Fahrenheit. And this weekend it's gonna get even better. It's gonna snow. I am
Snow.
really, really getting frustrated with this place.
You said snow, right?
Yeah, no, it's Informer. Put your boom boom down. That kind of snow.
Wow, that's awesome.
3 degrees and a wintry mix is what they're calling for Saturday and Sunday. I'm literally looking at myself thinking, you know what? You really don't have to stay here anymore. You got the citizenship. Just make a break for it. You've been here 10 years. Just
true.
Just go.
Wow, 10 years it's been. Holy smokes.
Yeah, July 15. It's going to be 10 years. It seems like only yesterday when I said, "Hey, let's move to Calgary." And then I got held up at the Phoenix airport for 6 hours because we didn't have a crew. So that was fun. That should have told me right there that if I'm moving to Calgary and I'm getting a 6-hour layover because there's no crew, that should have warned me. Hey, this probably isn't the best move for you. But hey, what can you do?
Hey,
Here
at
we
least
are.
it wasn't Columbus without a crew.
That is true. Brian McBride would just be really, really weird, just looking with a headband, just out there in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, Brian McBride's just hanging out. He's like, "Remember me? Remember me?
Remember I was the thing? It's great. It's like, okay, Brian, it's good for you. Where's your sister Martina? We have all big laugh because you got the same name. Haha. Get it? Because you're both McBrides, and then he'd head me in the Zidane.
Yep, and then Danny would show up and, be
Really,
funny
really weird. He just
and obnoxious.
right, and then hey, remember I was Kenny Powers, and then I did some stuff.
Those were the days, right? Whew.
People have short shelf lives for comedic actors these days, it seems. Unless you're Seth Rogen, and then you just blow Judd Apatow, and you get all the movies you want.
True.
That new movie looks like shit, though. I'll tell you that much.
I don't know what new movie that is.
The Neighbors. It's he moves into this little town, and then all the fraternities and sororities build up around him, and then he has to balance a life between living with a new family and then dealing with these fraternities.
Get all those kids off his lawn.
Essentially, it's old school, but if the house was actually just a house and not a fraternity.
Is this like the isn't he the one who was in like Knocked Up and
Yep.
And what was the other one, like Going Toward 40 or something like that? So it's just like the trilogy in the mix.
That's a good question. I don't know if it is. It almost seems like that lineage. Like it seems that way. I've never seen Knocked Up, so.
Knocked Up was the first one. You saw This Is 40, but not Knocked Up?
I haven't seen This Is 40. I haven't seen any. Last movie I saw was Despicable Me. And I was in
the
theaters.
first one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was like 3 years ago. Last time I seen like a movie in the theater and on DVD. I have Knocked Up, but I just haven't watched it because I'm lazy.
Oh, yeah, that happens.
So I'm just like, oh, Sirius XM's on. It's got some stuff I want to listen to. So the hell with it. I want to dust off my DVD player, so I'm stuck with this. And that's the story of Kwanzaa, ladies and gentlemen. Real quick, Mark, because you got to get out of here in a bit, and I think this might take up a little bit of our time.
Okay.
I want to get into the Washington Capitals discussion, as this past weekend they fired Adam Oates, and they said they will not renew George McPhee's contract, obviously. So that's a big deal. No coach. Going to be the 4th coach in 5 years. George McPhee leaving the team after 17 years, and apparently in the closing interview, it seemed that George McPhee avoided all questions about his relationship with Adam Oates, so it seems it was just great and peachy between the two of them, but obviously this is something that needed to be done. I guess overall, Mark, since I addressed you first, I'll start with you. Your thoughts on this whole ordeal going down?
Good times. I like it. It's what needed to be done. Finally, after 3 or 4 years of will they, won't they? If they make the playoffs, they squeaked into the playoffs. They lost in the first round, the second round, whatever it was. They never really lived up to expectations. Everybody thought that McPhee would get fired, and finally McPhee got fired. Oates getting fired, I think, was more of a. I think it might be more of a outreach to the general manager, saying whatever general manager we bring in can bring their own coach with them. If they think that whatever they can do with our players, it's their decision to come up with the coach that they want to build a team around. Ovechkin clearly is the superstar to build the team around, and they've got Backstrom, they've got potentially a superstar in Kuznetsov, but I think by firing Oates, Dick Patrick, who is the president of hockey operations for the Capitals, or is he the president of all operations?
I think
don't know.
he is. Good question. I will look that up while you continue your diatribe.
But I believe that that Leonsis is saying whoever I hire for a GM is going to be able to do what he wants as far as the coaching is concerned, and then they're going to go from there. So I think it's a good step. I think it's awful that Ovechkin has now, but this is now going to be Ovechkin's 5th coach of his career.
Hanlon, Boudreau, Hunter, Oates, and yeah, that's going to be 5th.
So he hasn't been playing that long. So going through 5 coaches is kind of ridiculous. Like in the grand scheme of things.
Oh yeah, no.
He hasn't been 5 coaches in 10 years is not good.
Not even that. Like it's been under that because he.
Oh yeah,
he
because of the
drafted
lockout.
him
That's
for
right.
5.
So 5 coaches in 8 years.
Dick Patrick, by the way, the president and vice chairman, COO of Monumental Sports and Entertainment, and the president of the Capitals.
There you go.
So there you go.
So I think it's more of a it's wiping the slate clean without rebuilding is sort of what they just did.
Sounds good. Johnny P, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we knew months ago, I guess, we knew that if the Caps didn't make the playoffs, or even if they did make the playoffs and lost in the first round, that McPhee was probably done. I mean, we've been talking about it for weeks, I guess, at this point, and the hammer finally dropped. I did not watch any of the press conference though that Teddy Ballgame put out there. I'm sure that Monumental Sports was doing their normal social gigs where they put things on Twitter and whatnot.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, it had to be done. It's something that we've seen now for a while that should be accomplished. And I mean, I agree with Mark. I agree that, maybe Oates didn't need to be fired too, but I think that that's kind of like the olive branch that gets put out to the new GM that says, okay, well, we're going to hire you and you can bring your own coach in. His team needs more than that, but I mean, at least it's a start. It's a semi-rebuild, I guess, at this point, right? I mean, at least they're not deconstructing everything and trading people away already.
Well, I guess that remains to be seen. There are still some pieces that the new GM may want to trade, such as Mike Green, if anybody will take that ridiculous contract. But yeah, when the new GM comes in, presumably that will be before the end of the playoffs, or immediately after the playoffs, such that they will have some time to prepare for the draft to draft the player that they want. Seeing that the GM and the coach kind of should have a very important role in picking that player. You would hope. But that also means that
they can just send Ovi up there and he'll pick somebody.
Give me a Russian. Which one? Anyone. It does not matter. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm on the Mike Gillis, Barry Trotz 2015 campaign.
Why are we bringing back old Baltimore skipjacks? That's my question.
Why not?
I wanted to know if Michael Pavanka and Kelly Ridley are doing anything. Or Michael Ridley, sorry.
Kelly Ridley would be even better. Kelly Ripa. How about we do Kelly Ripa?
I think if we're just trotting old Caps out, Don Beaupre probably isn't doing anything.
No, he's actually building helicopters, I think. I don't know.
Well, that'll get the team to the games faster.
Twist around your head.
Exactly. In any case, if you read Chuck Gormley's stuff in CSN Washington, he had an interesting thing about the whole fun times that were the exit interviews, which basically sealed the fate of Adam Oates and George McPhee. Apparently, to a man, the Washington Capitals players did not have much fun things to say about either. So it's a condition where, I don't think that these guys were really, liked I mean, George McPhee obviously ran his course, but at most, that's a big thing considering the fact that a year and he's done, or 2 years, right? 2.5
Year and a half.
Year and a half, but I mean it was 2 seasons.
Yeah.
But only a year and a half.
Yeah, but he didn't have a training camp the first year.
That's true too. But apparently, it's something that Leones probably didn't want to do, but he looked at the player exit interviews and said, we have to do this if we want to keep this team together and do well. And George McPhee, not bitter about it. I think he knew the writing was on the wall as much as everyone else did. And, he's a guy who actually said, hey, I think the Caps can win a cup with Ovechkin. So that's a huge deal right there. So, at least he has faith in Ovechkin, unlike everyone else in the world who said that, Ovechkin is just a coach killer.
Ovi is like one of the worst people in history of time.
Well, obviously.
It's like, I think it goes Ovi, Putin, and Hitler, right?
Wow.
Are the three? No, I'm just
Really, 2 of the 3 are Russians?
No.
I see how it is.
It's O.V. Hitler Pol Pot. Let's get that right. Pol Pot, underrated dictator Pol Pot. I think he doesn't get enough due.
Does Mussolini make that list?
Only if he's at a gas station.
Okay, good.
Nice.
I think that's the only reason why Mussolini.
What was the Mussolini joke that we had for months? I forget.
Hanging around,
Just bringing him out.
just hanging
Yeah,
out.
we were just mentioning Mussolini on the show for like 3 weeks straight.
That's true.
Yeah.
Mussolini always hanging out.
Good
All right,
times.
so who's the next GM and coach of your Washington Capitals? Mark with the C.
I already gave my picks. Going to be Mike
Got it.
Gillis and Barry Trotz.
Barry Trotz, Johnny P.
Wow, Mark. I'm still holding out hope that Fedorov will be the GM of the team, and I don't know who I want to have the coach be. I don't know. I kind of like that Barry Trotz pick. In all honesty, Mark, I like that one a lot.
Well, I think we talked about it last week, right? Or I forget who we were talking about. I was talking about it with someone. I thought it was us. Talking about how Barry Trotz has never had really an offensive-minded team before, so we never really got to see what he would do with offensive weapons as a coach. I think the best offensive weapon that he really ever had was he had Erat for a while. He had the Kostitsins. I think he had both of them for a while.
Radulov.
Radulov, yeah.
And Steve Sullivan.
Shea Weber.
Yeah, Shea Weber.
Shea Weber from the point.
That's really about it?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, do you really count Mike Fisher? I don't.
No, because he was only there for a short time. Maybe Joel Ward, because Wardo played there for a bit. But again, he's more a defensive guy. But yeah, he really hasn't had an offensive, like an outbreak or any outbreak line for that matter.
Has anyone asked Joel Ward what he thinks if Barry Trotz would come in?
That'd be a good question for him. But I honestly think the Panthers are going to swap him up.
Joel Ward?
No, I wish.
Oh.
That'd be a great contract off the books. But no, I think the Panthers, who dismissed their coach earlier this week, I think they're going to pick up Barry Trotz. So there's
on
that.
Waivers?
Yeah, on waivers. No neck needed. So there's that. My pick, I'm going to pick Paul Fenton. I'm going to stay with Nashville. Paul Fenton is GM. He's the assistant GM of Nashville. And boys, I might shock you with this one. He's a man of mystery. Guy Boucher is your head coach.
Wow.
Former Tampa Bay Lightning head coach.
The Bond villain, Guy Boucher.
Exactly, Bond villain with Bond villain. Ovechkin with Boucher, unstoppable force.
It almost makes too much sense.
It does. So it's probably not going to happen. But I like the
Boucher, wow.
Yeah, I think Guy Boucher is
Caps will become a trapping team.
Yeah, I think they would become a 1-3-1 under Trotz too, because I don't think Trotz doesn't know how to do offense. So it's just like, all right, I don't know what to do, guys.
But that was our point. He just never had a chance to do it. Maybe he does know offense. He just never had the players to do it.
That's true.
So he had to try and win games any way he could, which was stalwart defense and Shea Weber.
But he was also there for like the same amount of time McPhee was in D.C. Do you think a Tiger can change his stripes that quickly?
So hold on, Mark. So you're saying that Barry Trotz, in his entire coaching career, adapted to a defensive system and makes everyone believe that he's a defensive coach.
And then, boom, he's been waiting for this moment his entire career.
What a turn!
That would
My
be
God.
swerve.
Crazy,
Comes out-
right?
Comes out in a sequin robe. Does
The
a strut
slow
across
play. The slow play.
Yeah, very slow play.
I like it.
If it happens, and hey, more power to him. He surprised everyone. Becomes coach of the year 3 years straight.
With different teams.
Amazing.
So then the Caps, if Barry Trotz does show up in Washington, the Caps can trade Mike Green and somebody else for Shea Weber, right? And I mean, then good to go.
No, heavens no! Don't you don't want that? You already have an albatross of a deal in Ovechkin. You don't need another 12 years, 11 years for Weber.
$6.5 million or whatever it is a season.
7.5. No, it's more than that. It's like he signed 13,120, so about 9, 8,
Oh
9.
God. Yeah.
we don't-
Okay. No Shea Weber. Sorry.
No Shea. Much like Queens, there's no more
Shea
Shea.
Stadium.
Yeah, peace out. Peace on that. Someone asking us how Matt asking us how we're gonna watch 3 Game 7s. Easy, we're not.
Okay, so
Actually, I'm not gonna watch the early game, the Rangers Flyers game. All these games I really couldn't care less about. Mainly, I like to see if the Sharks choke it away. I like to see if Minnesota, 10 years to the day, beats the Avalanche again in Game 7 to end Patrick Wallace's career.
that would be nice.
Even better.
See, we don't provide live commentary on games. We just provide after commentary.
And you know why we don't?
Why?
We're not rights holders. We can't do that. That'd be
That's
illegal.
true. It's like
You don't have to.
it's like that big game at the end of the football season.
It would be illegal. You're right.
The Superb Bowl? The Superb
Yeah.
Owl?
The Superb Owl.
The Superb Owl.
Oh, that'd be a great name for a bar.
We can't be the first people who did that, right? That's awesome.
Oh no, there's actually plenty of promotions out here with the Superb Owl.
That's good.
I think that's a Stephen Colbert bit too.
That's nice work.
I've never heard that one before, so that's fantastic.
I've heard it many a times.
I think that
I guess I'm a trendsetter.
no, I was just saying that. So I have a friend who's a Kings fan, and he keeps texting me after the Kings win hockey games, and he at one point texted me earlier in the week and said, "Did you see this? The Kings are making this a series." And all I wrote back was, "No, they play too late for me."
That's
You
right.
under-
NHL.com is up every morning when I wake up.
Do you understand? Well, that's just because it has great streams at night.
It's true.
Do you understand that there's going to be another Battle of California series in the next round?
In any way, shape, or form?
Anaheim takes the winner of San Jose, LA.
And
God.
did you know that there have been more Battle of California series in the last 5 years than there have Battle of Canada series?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to have a Battle of Canada when one team's in it.
But hey, stats are stats, my friend.
No,
Stats
I
don't
understand.
lie.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not defining those stats because they are true. That is
There are only
reality.
3 teams in California. 2 teams, 3 teams in 2 teams, 3 teams in California.
3 teams.
Two teams to beat. 3 teams to beat.
Make it 4. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, San Diego needs a team. The San Diego Whale Vaginas. Anyway,
That would be one hell of a jersey.
Jesus. Think about the gash in that. Anyway.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Skating out of the whale vagina might be a little bit of an overtouch.
That'd be the new renovated in the Cow Palace.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Oh. Then they throw crabs.
That'd be really weird.
Yeah.
Mark, any parting shots?
No, I think that's it for me. I will win this one for you guys, though. You guys.
Hey, don't win it for us. Win it
Not
for
you, for the fans.
They're not watching.
The fans that are watching Game 7.
Yeah.
Unless you have a GoPro strapped to your head, they couldn't care less.
Spatala actually did that for a game. I never saw the video of it. I should ask him where that is.
I saw
Yeah,
one
but-
of the videos that had you scoring on it.
Yep, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
The only problem with Swatala's video is that it showed you the net a lot when he was finding pucks.
It's true. He was looking back into the net,
What happened?
dragging the puck out.
Oh,
I can't remember if we won that game or not.
Yeah, you did. I believe it was 3-1. You said you had a goal, and you showed everybody what it was like.
Cool.
As you ghosted in off a camera and stole a puck from somebody and slotted it home.
Oh, yeah. No, the one where the other team's goalie was wearing a GoPro I scored. I couldn't remember if I scored on the one where Swatala was wearing one.
On Swatala?
No. Not he was my goalie.
Oh.
That game.
It's got to be your bull. All right, Mark. Well, go get them. Go get them.
Indeed, I will get them. I will talk to you guys later.
See ya, buddy. There he goes. Mark with a C. Out of business. Out of commission. It's
Wow.
over.
He decides to take a summer off, and he plays in the first game.
Well, listen, these things happen. By the way, great how the summer season starts at the end of April.
Yep.
Summertime sadness.
Summertime.
And the living is easy. Don't worry about the music. We just got 2 injuries on these injury reports. Nicholas Grossman, your defenseman for your Philadelphia Flyers, he's had right ankle surgery. He is out for the season. While Mark-Edric Vlasic, the Pickles, he has got an upper body injury. He's out for Game 7 tonight. So it might not matter if the Sharks choke this away after being up 3-0.
This is awesome, though.
Hey, remember when me and Lyle said the Kings were the team that you don't want to face? We don't feel like such jackasses anymore.
Yeah, remember last week when you said, remember when me and Lyle said that the Kings are the team that you don't want to face?
Man, were we idiots? Well, no. Now we totally redeem ourselves.
Yeah, good work. How's the, have we kept up with the Orb versus Lyle? How's
Yeah, the
that going?
Orb is dying a slow death here.
Really? Ooh, Orb.
The Orb is already down 4 teams.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
That's over.
It's over.
That's
John.
over. That doesn't occur. The Orb doesn't pick extra play. That many different.
Lyle's up
Series.
5-1 on the Orb, and they can tie in 2. They can tie in 2 and then split another. So
The Orb's having a shitty year. It happens sometimes.
always having a shitty
Maybe
year.
we need to fire the Orb.
Maybe we just need to.
We
Have
need a
some-
rebuilding year.
Yeah. Fire the Orb and just go from there.
Yeah.
But by the way, I didn't get to this with Mark, which probably the talks of Wayne Gretzky possibly coming to the Washington Capitals.
Wayne Gretzky, huh?
There's a mutual interest between the Capitals and Wayne Gretzky for him to come in some kind of, I guess, president of hockey operations role, the P-Hop, or some kind of front office position. He said
Is that
there's
why Wayne Gretzky was in town last season?
rumor has it that that's the reason. There's 3 places he said he would go to: Toronto, New York, Rangers, and the Capitals. And it looks like the Capitals could be a destination.
They're the only ones who took him up on that offer.
Exactly, because Glenn Sather said, "Listen, if we're not going to hire Messier, you have no shot." So interesting what's going to happen with Wayne Gretzky there. I have no idea why they would put him as a P-Hop position. He has no front office. The coaching times that he had were terrible. I don't know why he would think a upper management position would be any better.
He led Team Canada to a gold medal in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, but he had the pick of the litter.
He was the GM, though. He didn't piss off any players. They didn't have to trade anybody after he was done.
That's true. You know why? Because he wasn't in upper management at that point with anyone.
That's true. Semantics.
Yeah, I know. It's the worst
Why
part
do we
about
let facts get in the way of a good story?
This is true. We never have before. So there's that. Hey. Brad Treliving is your new GM for the Calgary Flames. He was announced this past Monday. The only candidate they interviewed, which I thought was interesting.
Oh, how does that happen?
I don't know. I guess they just had a really short list. Treliving, the former...
One.
Exactly. The former assistant...
Did you send your information in for GM of the Calgary Flames?
Yeah, they said the position was canceled.
What assholes.
The true living former assistant general manager of the Phoenix Coyotes, and also his dad is the owner and founder of Boston Pizza.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
That means does that mean that they're gonna add some Calgary wings onto the menu?
it's gonna be actually it's gonna be Calgary pasta.
Oh, okay.
So,
I figured it'd have to be something that was hot.
well, you know,
Obviously,
not really.
naming convention at Boston Pizza is not straight out there.
Starts off hot, but it gets cold as it dissipates to your table.
Ah, yes.
As time wears on, it gets cold and stale. Then you have to reheat it again, and then it's just rebuilding. And
By the time it gets to your table, you don't even want to look at it anymore.
you already drafted a new plate.
I like this.
By the way, I just want to put this out here. Ron Hextall apparently also in the running for Caps GM.
I'm fine with that.
I am perfectly fine with that, considering what he's done in LA and Philly.
And I'm not gonna lie. I mean, if I'm Ted Leonsis, I show video of Dale Hunter scoring a goal and see what his reaction is. If he gets really pissed off, really angry, he's out. But if he's like, all right, well, I like the Caps, that's fine.
Well, see, that could go either way. If he shows passion, that's good. He wants to win.
I guess so. But he's not gonna win. He lost that game years ago.
You can always do revisionist history. These are things called CGI games.
Ooh.
He
So
can
how
redo
many-
the game in EA Sports.
How many goalies can the Caps have in their organization?
Not enough, apparently.
Right. True story.
By the way, Mike Keenan also just won the KHL championship, so you better believe his name's going to be in the running for an NHL job sooner or later.
Uh-oh. Fedorov Keenan coming to DC.
Oh, God. How amazing would that be? Amazing if true. Don't look into that, folks. It's doubtful.
That's all right. I'm going to post that rumor up places.
Go for it. Put it on HF boards. Go for it.
Yes. People
Um,
love those boards.
By the way, I forgot message boards were a thing. I keep forgetting that.
Like in general, or like
yeah, I
do
thought
they still exist?
yeah, apparently HF boards is still a big deal. I still thought like Twitter and Facebook and stuff took that down.
It did for normal people.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Message boards just seems weird to me. But although Reddit is a big deal, and that's pretty much a big message board kind of deal.
I never got into that. I don't know what it is. Even though you just told me.
Yeah, no, it's kind of it's weird. It's hard to explain, but there's a lot of different subforums and stuff like that. Like I don't go on it as frequently as other people, but what I remember of it, I'm subscribed to a Sports Night subreddit, a Haley Williams subreddit, and a hockey subreddit. So
Sounds about right.
that's basically my
The
whole
three
interest.
things you love in life.
Exactly, the three things I enjoy most thoroughly, and then I realized, oh wait, I can get all these pictures on Tumblr too, so shite. So then just went to Tumblr instead, because Tumblr's
Yeah,
fun.
like Haley in Japanese schoolgirl outfit.
Oh, it's so great. It's the best. The best. One of the best. She's amazing.
Simply the best.
Now I just want to buy it. Is that a Ford commercial? Or is that a Chevy commercial?
I don't know. They sell cars.
Yeah, I know it's a car. It's a car one. That's all I know.
Yeah. It's
Speaking
either
of,
we only get commercials for cars and like pizza, or like most of the commercials we get.
is
right about
Bob
now.
Bell Ford still banging, or Tate Chrysler? Are those guys still pumping out turbos?
They have Brown. I think it's Brown's Automotive in Glen Burnie. Still pumps out commercials, and then the Jack Says Yes guy. I don't know who he actually sells cars for, but
He's just a guy. He's just a hobo in Glen Burnie who says yes to people's credit.
like I don't even know what kind of cars they sell. Jack Antwerpen. I know his name. I have no clue what he sells.
Oh, Antwerp and Dodge Chrysler.
There has to be more than that, though. He has commercials for like everything.
Oh, God knows.
He has to sell more cars than just Dodge and Chrysler.
Well, here's the funny thing about Ritchie Highway in Glen Burnie is the fact that not only is it the bowling alley that has like 17 alleys along it, it also has so many car dealerships. So many car dealerships.
Yeah, it's a good thing that we didn't decide to go dealership to dealership and test drive a car
Dude,
at everyone.
that'd be a 5-day expose. Are you kidding me? You joking right now? Good God.
We just
Man.
pile into the minivan and go rolling in, and we're like, yes, we'd like to test drive something.
Exactly, guys. We got this. Onward and upward. But yeah, once you get past LaFontaine Blue, man, it's just bowling alleys and car dealerships as far as the eye can see on Ridgey Highway.
And Little Caesars.
Is there a Little Caesars?
There's one. Yeah, right next to LaFontaine Blue. In that little strip mall, there's a Little Caesars.
Yeah, there is. Is that Baskin Robbins still there?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I know the Little Caesars is still there. I have not noticed the Baskin Robbins.
Guess what? I'm home in 2 weeks. I'll go figure it out then.
All right.
Speaking of cars, Carolina. It's not pronounced that way. But we'll go with it. They hired Ron Francis as their new GM as Jim Rutherford stepped down as general manager. He will stay on as governor and president of the Carolina Hurricanes club. But
he's the governor of South Carolina or North Carolina now?
Just Carolina in general, both of them, both constituencies.
Wow.
Amazing. They decided to hell with it. We're going to just put it into one. So Ronnie Franchise, he's the new GM and the latest former player to be in a GM from our golden age when we collected hockey cards.
I think that they should change the rules for the draft lottery, and they should make it like I don't know, like the shot accuracy concept at the All-Star game, and just let all the GMs from every team go at it. Because right now there are some good shooters that are GMs in the NHL. I think we could make this work.
Well, here's the thing: if that's the case, I'm going out and getting Ray Bourque immediately. I don't care if he has any front office position. You know?
Yeah. Why not?
Just go for it. Can't lose. Jeremy Roenick's also another guy.
You get the first pick. You win the first pick if you win the shot accuracy contest.
That'd be amazing. Why not? The hell with it. Why not? It's really happening.
And then the people would watch that stupid shit lottery thing.
Oh, people watch it here in Canada. You know why? There's nothing else on. Except the Raptors this year, man. The Raptors apparently doing good.
Really?
Yeah, they're tied 2-2 against Brooklyn.
Wow. The Raptors aren't as good this year, though.
Oddly enough, no. It's actually very bleak.
Yeah. No Raptors on the horizon.
Well, that's kind of good actually when you think about it.
Well, I mean, I kind of like the hype.
Well, don't believe the hype.
Yeah,
Public Enemy told us that years ago.
Getting us ready, getting us prepared for the rapture.
Well, we already had Easter. We got through that, so Zombie Jesus didn't come back from that, so I think we're okay for now.
I mean, that's what you think.
Well, yeah, so that's why I said it.
Maybe he hasn't made it to Canada yet.
Maybe this is the rain. Maybe this rain is the actual 40 days, and it starts now.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why we're getting snow on Saturday and Sunday.
I kind of figure that if Jesus came back, he would start in Australia and then try to make his way back to Jerusalem.
That's the funny thing that I always thought is, like, when we say the world's going to end, we all think it's going to go by time zone.
It should.
It really should.
Because it's fucked up if it doesn't.
This whole spontaneous. How are we going to know when we all died? And where?
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the really shitty part. So what happened if it occurs at like 2 p.m. in Australia? I'm asleep. I didn't even get to do any cool shit to end the last day of my life.
This is true.
Australians got to do stuff in the morning. I mean, that's messed up.
They had breakfast.
I can't believe in a God that would not allow me to eat breakfast on the day that the world ends.
Look, why are we letting the convicts have an extra day? The hell with them.
Right, we put them there for a reason.
It's not the God that I grew up with fearing. I'll tell you that right now. I didn't go to 14 years of Catholic schools just to have convicts live one more day than me.
Yeah, see?
Granted, I haven't been to church. It hasn't been a wedding in probably a decade, but still, that's not the point. The point is this.
I went to church. I went to church on Easter. Church has changed.
Yeah?
I think I said this. Yeah, like the new pope is like changing wording and everything.
What?
Yeah. Church is not what I remember it being when I was a kid.
Did you still eat the wafer?
Yeah, true story.
Okay, well that's good.
And drank wine.
Well, yeah, you did that before you showed up too.
And on Saturday night also.
Well, that works too. Yeah, good times. Speaking of wine, Peter Horachek's winding himself to an unemployment office as he got relieved of his interim coaching duties. So the Florida Panther is now in the market for a new head coach. Like I said, Barry Trotz seems to be the front runner there. So we will see how that all goes about.
At least his neck can't get burned.
That's true. That is true. And I got burned off being a redneck in Nashville for so many years.
Yep. Yeah.
You know, we're gonna.
Barry Trotz likes country music.
Barry Trotz does look like a guy who would have jammed to Lori D. Young when she started in WPOC.
Yeah, I feel like Barry Trotz is definitely a country music guy.
Has to be. Look at him. I don't think he's into hair metal.
Well, he doesn't have any.
Well, exactly. I don't think he's into classic rock either. So.
He could be into classic rock too.
Yeah, I don't know. He doesn't seem like the wild kind of guy. He seems like more straight-laced.
Over the summer, we should drink and we should try and figure out what music coaches around the NHL listen to.
That's going to be July. We found our July project.
I like it.
All right, good deal. Peter Maher of the Calgary Flames, legendary calls in 2004 when the Flames went on their cup run. Retiring after 34 years in the radio booth doing play-by-play, so he will move on from that. Huge figure in Calgary sports, and yeah, he's going to be sorely missed. That's for sure. Hey, trophy candidates are being announced. I couldn't care less. I don't know. I don't know. I don't get it. Why?
Because people have to talk about it.
Fucking people bitching about shit. Oh, why is PK Subban not in the Norris Trophy? He was a -4! Sure, he had 53 points, but he was a -4 on the year. You don't put a minus player for best defenseman. Christ on a bike. That's like putting Ovechkin up for a Hart Trophy just because he did 50 goals.
I like it.
He's also a -406. I don't know how that's possible.
It's fine. I mean, he just got really good at Tiger Woods golf.
That is true.
I mean, if you really think back, the Tiger Woods 06, Tiger Woods 07 era, those games were so simple. You used to shoot like -20 on like an 18-hole course.
Yeah. It was like Mario golf, man. It was just too simple.
Yes, you're like driving 350 yards. I had some cards that didn't even go that far.
Zing. Yeah. Playoffs, Johnny, have you been watching?
Yeah, I think I've watched a total of a period.
Nice. Still holding it a period strong.
Yeah. Well, I did find I find it a lot easier to watch the playoffs when the Caps suck shit, because I don't care anymore. Like I'm not watching the playoffs with like any type of like bated breath or like have to rush home to watch the game or listen to something on the radio. If I see some games, cool, and if not, I sleep.
There you go. Tell you what, that Pittsburgh Columbus Blue Jacket series was a lot better than advertised. Columbus came out hard, and the Penguins almost squandered away everything.
Yes. There's a possibility. I mean, I don't know how tonight's game is going with the Rangers, but they could we could have another Philly Penguins
Battle of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, playoff series. That would be fun. I might watch another period of that.
You might. Rangers up 1-0, 3 minutes into the second. So.
Gotcha.
Winner of that takes on the Penguins, and we'll see if the Dan Marino of the NHL, Henrik Lundqvist, can actually prevail, or if the Flyers will come back. And the Flyers have had a hell of a season. If I'm pulling for Chief, love me some Craig Berube.
Oh yeah.
So, plus as much as people hate Philly, I don't care. Philly's Philly. I lived there for a year. I can deal with those people.
It is what it is. They're assholes, and everybody knows it. So who cares? I think I saw a fight that occurred at the last at Game 6. has been making its way around the internets.
Yeah, in the stands, fans attacking each other.
I think it's funny that it's a phenomenon. Like like this is the first time it's occurred, or like, hey, this is just raising the stereotype. I mean, this occurs all the time. It's just people don't tape it.
Well, yeah, people are too scared.
Tape it.
Tape it.
Record it on their phones, on the YouTube Capture app.
Well, yeah, exactly. YouTube Capture, Instagram it, put a filter on it. Yeah, the only series that we know is going on starts tomorrow. Round 2 starts tomorrow, kids.
Yes.
No rest for the wicked. Thursday, Habs, Bruins, 34th time. They will be meeting in a playoff series. So we got that going for us. Like I said, the Penguins will take on the winner of the Rangers, Flyers. The Anaheim Ducks will take on the winner of the LA Kings, San Jose Sharks, while the winner of the Colorado Avalanche, Minnesota Wild will take on who? I'm drawing a blank.
The team that beat the Blues?
Right, the Chicago Blackhawks. Holy shit, the defending Cup champs. Yeah, how would I forget about them?
The Blues, they must feel like shit right now.
Yeah, it looked so good for them, didn't it?
Yeah.
Oopsie.
Nothing like trading away what you did to get Ryan Miller and then the same events occur.
Well, listen.
That hit that Seabrook laid on Backus, though, kind of changed things.
For who, though?
I mean,
That's the big question. For who? It should have changed the Blues' fortune. Not so much.
No, yeah, I mean, you can't take Backus out of the lineup like that.
Oh, yeah, well, that's true. But he came back for Game 5 and 6.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, I mean, I don't know.
It's not like you broke the guy's jaw or anything.
No, exactly. So we got that going for us. So the Blackhawks looking in the driver's seat as they'll take on a Colorado team which seems to play very well at home but really craptastic on the road. Or a Minnesota team that's a Minnesota team.
We might want to. I mean, I can try and get Lyle on now if we want, but
I have fun just BSing with you, Johnny. To be honest with you,
we might have to. Maybe we keep it for Lyle, but I'd like to talk through a little bit on if we think that this first round with the new playoff structure and everything is better than previous first rounds that we've seen in the past. Because I don't know if it is.
You want to give your thoughts on it? Because odds are, once we get Lyle started on it, we might not get a word in edgewise.
Then yeah, I'll talk about it now. Then
yeah.
I just don't. I mean, I think that what they did, at least with what I see with the Metropolitan Division, is they tried to put old rivals back together and turn it into something. But the rivalry just isn't there this year. Like there isn't. If Pittsburgh and Philly play each other, then yes, there's a rivalry. But that continued to occur, whether or not they were in the same division. I don't know. I just don't think that this year all of a sudden made like the first round so much better than it has been in previous years. It's the same thing. It's the 8 best teams from each division are playing against each other. So I don't see how it changes that much.
I think conceptually the idea makes sense. The big thing about it is you don't reseed. Like in terms of, it's not where now it's the Bruins are taking on the 4th seed or the lowest seed now. They take on the Habs, who, they're the 5 seed and they could very well be the lowest seed are they the 5 seed? Yeah, they're the 5 seed, something like that. No, they're the 3rd.
There will be no reseeding.
There's no reseeding, so immediately, boom, you go right into your division. So basically, what happens is like the highest team, which was the Bruins, they're the number 1 seed overall in the East, and they're also the number 1 seed in the Atlantic. So therefore, the last place team, the eighth seed in the East, becomes the 4th seed in the Atlantic, and then they play out of the division that way.
Yes.
So conceptually, it makes sense. It's a little boggled, but conceptually, it makes sense. And I think
the Bruins are the best in the East because of their body of work.
Right. Well, yeah.
Their RPI was really high too.
It was. They had their strength of schedule was kind of but they powered through.
Yeah, and they had key wins versus like the New York Rangers. You know, Pittsburgh Penguins. They had some key wins this season
It's true.
that I think put them into the first overall seed.
But I completely get what you're saying though, because it almost seems like the Caps and the Hurricanes and the Blue Jackets are kind of the outliers in the Metropolitan Division, whereas the Panthers and the Lightning are the outliers in the Atlantic Division because they're so far south and detached from everything. Like Detroit moving over they had their rivalries already with the original 6 teams and stuff like that, and whatnot. But the Caps don't have that feel of rivalry anymore, even though like they do have a little bit between the Penguins and the Flyers.
They have a feel of rivalry like you do with your little brother.
Sure, like you do with Mark.
I mean, he's taller than me,
Yeah,
but I can still beat him up if I really have to.
if you need to.
True story.
So that's good. But yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying completely. It doesn't feel like it. I mean, luckily the cards dropped as they may, and you know, the hell in the East we have a Habs Bruins, and we could have a Battle of Pennsylvania for your conference semifinals.
Yeah,
That's
pretty cool.
But I mean,
But I think in 4 years from now, the first round games will mean just as much. It just isn't there right now. The rivalries that were built in the Patrick division have long since been gone, and now the NHL is trying to revive those with what they did with the playoff structure.
very possible. Yeah, I think they're trying to create the. It's not going to take a year either. I mean, it's something as if, you know, we can't. It's not going to be fixed all in one fell swoop, and it's probably going to change too if and when there's expansion or relocation or whatever. So, I mean, at least the NHL is attempting to have 4 divisions and not try to play out of divisions like they used to, rather than the top 8 teams and stuff like that, where it's all garbled up and some teams might be thrown out of balance and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's a different set of goals too, because you have 2 milestones you can shoot for. You can shoot for 3rd in your division or the wild card spots, the 7th, 8th in the conference. So you have 2 milestones to shoot for if you're down there in the bottom of the pack. So it creates a whole nother kind of race too. See if you're going to be able, if you're going to slip into a 3rd spot, or if you're going to slip down in the wild card spot. So it's almost a safety net too for some teams.
Yes, I agree.
So I think that the NHL wants that too, to create that kind of drama. See, if they can get the 3rd seed, or if they might slip out of it completely if they don't get the 3rd seed and then miss the wild card because of this, that, or the other. It's basically made up drama, which is what the NHL seems to be all about anyway.
So is the NHL trying to use the wild card now to get people to forget about the fact that there are 3-point games?
Essentially, they're trying to forget about Dre.
Yeah, you can't forget about Dre.
No. So that's how it. I mean, the playoffs. I understand it, but yeah, I get where you're coming from too, where it's just almost manufactured drama and manufactured rivalry.
Yeah, I mean, all I'm saying is that it's not any different than any other year the playoffs have been so far. Now, in this second round, we could see some really cool matchups, and maybe then we're like, wow, this is awesome. You have to play out of your division, and we see the teams that we remember. But, I mean, it's almost nostalgic in the way that this is set up right now. Like, it doesn't have the rivalry feel to it unless it's rivalries that you remember from the last time that these teams were put together in a situation much like they are right now. I don't know.
It's almost what have you done for me lately rivalries kind of thing.
Yeah, rivalries occur because of a hit or because of something stupid. It's not a fight, a line brawl. It's not like the old. I just don't see it being like the older rivalries where you like literally played the same team every year.
Yeah. But again, we haven't had the opportunity. This is still the first year for it. So
yeah, I guess.
Who knows? Like the series between Pittsburgh and Columbus could create a rivalry there because of how close knit they are, and then they're both in the same division too. So who knows? They'll be fighting for spots coming down the road and stuff like that if both teams can keep up. So who knows? I mean, it's definitely. I think it's too early to tell, but it's also not not late enough, not too early. It's too early to tell, but not too early to judge, I guess.
Yes,
Something
you
like
can
that.
always judge.
Yeah, well, obviously we do that all the time.
Yeah, judging needs no time limit.
No, exactly. There's no time limit, no holds barred, like
Yeah.
Zeus and Thunderlips.
Right, right, definitely.
Wasn't Thunderlips was Rocky 2, right?
Yeah, Thunderlips was in Rocky 2, but it was the same. It was the same person.
It was Hulk Hogan. What was he? Rip?
I don't-
What was Hulk Hogan's name in that one?
I don't remember. I'm sorry. I do remember No Holds Barred though.
Who doesn't?
Good movie. That I think that I could get that and Driven on DVD.
Together?
I mean, I'm sure you can get them together. Like, one of those random DVDs that have like the two sides to them.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, if I was randomly looking for like weird movies on DVD, I already have Howard the Duck, so I feel like that's like the top. Let's be honest, folks. That's George Lucas's best film.
By the way, Rip was the name of Hulk Hogan.
Nice.
So, in case you were wondering, for your Hulk Hogan trivia nights, which is usually every last Wednesday of the month, his name was Rip.
Brother.
Yeah. What other
Hulk
random movies?
Hogan's been in multiple movies now, hasn't he?
Multiple crap movies. Remember Mr. Nanny?
Yes.
Remember Suburban Commando?
Wow. He did have a good run of crap movies.
Remember he was in that TNT show Thunder in Paradise?
Yes, that was awesome. Though.
That was a shit show.
So hold on. Has Hulk Hogan or Dwayne Johnson have a worse resume of movies?
Oh,
I
Hulk
mean,
Hogan.
The Rock, you got to throw out like the Tooth Fairy.
Yeah,
that movie was terrible.
Yeah, but he also did like the Scorpion King, and he's done Walk Tall.
Yeah.
He did that movie with Marky Mark. Like he's done a lot better. He's done a lot more blockbusters than he's done.
I think he's done better for himself. Yes.
Though Tooth Fairy does kind of.
The Tooth Fairy could have been his Jiggly.
Yeah, it could have been. So no one brings that up to Ben Affleck anymore?
No. Well, why would they? He's Batman.
It's true.
And he's married to Jennifer Gardner.
It's true, too.
Wow, how did he pull that? How do you like them apples?
Well, hell, that's when he played that stupid superhero. Shit, what was he? He was the blind superhero.
The blind superhero.
Daredevil. That's right.
Oh, okay.
He played Daredevil, and Jennifer Gardner played Elektra. And I'm pretty sure that's how they met, ladies and gentlemen. And if it's not, then it is now. We're going to put that as canon for the Ben Affleck Jennifer Gardner situation. So there's that. Other situations: Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie met on the set of Hackers. I will live with that till the day I die. Hackers, another crap movie, Johnny. If you want to put that on a list, I think that has to go on the list too.
No, I don't know. Isn't Hackers the Angelina Jolie movie that she was wearing a Devil's jersey in?
It might have been. I know we saw a boob. We saw boobs.
We did see boobs.
Yeah.
Hackers. Wow.
Necessary Roughness. Scott Bakula, Sinbad, Kathy Ireland, Jason Bateman, an all-star cast of crap.
He was down at the 30, but hydroplaned to the 15.
Rob Schneider in his best work ever.
Yes.
Rob Schneider's had a string of crap movies too.
Well, I mean, let's be honest.
But hey, the good thing about him is he rides Adam Sandler's coattails like no one else has.
As he should.
Good
Those guys were smart. They had like their own little pockets, like one whole group stuck together and did like all the Adam Sandler movies, and then like another whole group now is doing like the Sarah and that group. Doesn't he have like a small group of people that he does movies with too?
Sandler?
Or no, Sandler has his group, but then there's another. What's the other group? The group of like Will Ferrell and that whole
John C. Reilly
do like movies together.
I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't know. I thought there was another group of comedians that do movies together now.
Lyle, do you know any Rat Pack movie people anymore?
Rat Pack movie people?
Like a pack of people, like almost like the Breakfast Club, where all
I was
those
gonna say,
guys-
like Judd Nelson, who's done nothing since the Breakfast Club.
Well, yeah, no, he's done a lot, Lyle. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, it was Rocky 3 that Hulk Hogan was in.
Was
and
it Rocky 3?
And he was Thunder Lips.
Yeah,
he was Thunder Lips.
Thunder Lips.
And it was in Rocky 3. Rocky 2 was the rematch with Apollo Creed. And then Rocky 3.
That's right.
Trust me. And then Rocky 3. Listen, who was alive back then? Trust me.
All right.
Trust me.
So Rocky 3 was the Mr. T movie.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
That's why.
Yeah. And Rocky 4 was with Dolph Lundgren, and then I checked out after that. So.
Yeah, these things happen. Yeah, Hulk Hogan is Thunder Lips in Rocky 3.
And then there's Rocky Balboa. That was the next one after Rocky 4, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Rocky
The
Balboa.
other one apparently had AIDS. I don't know what that meant. Rest in peace, Tommy Morrison. Oops. Anyway, Lyle, we had a discussion before you came on. I don't know if you caught this.
Yeah, and I'll try and make sure I give you word and edgewise.
Please do. Well, that's why we said our piece, and then you can go off because I knew this one. This one got me bungled up, so I don't know how the train of thought's going to go for you about the whole playoff format and your thoughts on if it creates the rivalries or if it's manufacturing rivalries or what the hell it's doing to us.
I don't think you're manufacturing rivalries. I mean, what you're seeing is what you would normally see. Regardless of how you set the thing up, unless you did some bizarre twisted format where only East teams would play Western teams and vice versa in the first round. With this format, you really wouldn't have seen too much difference, especially in the West. I think some people are a little bummed because you're seeing it like great matchups like the Blues and Blackhawks and Sharks and Kings in the first round, but that's the result of having 16 out of 8 teams in the Western Conference that had 100+ point seasons. So even if you stuck with the original format, you still probably would have seen those matchups anyway. So it puts me more in mind, almost like the way it used to be with the old Patrick division and Norris division, that sort of thing back in the day. It's almost like that.
It's almost famous.
Almost famous. So
That's a good movie.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
That was a good movie.
Trying to think, who the hell was the? Yeah, the way it worked out, the wild card teams almost pretty much played in their own division anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
So has anybody done an article yet on where teams would have fell if they didn't have this? If they used last year's and what the matchups would have been?
I believe Sean McKendo, who writes for Grantland and also does the wonderful blog Down Goes Brown. He wrote about that. Yeah, he wrote about that about a week and a half ago, and he pointed out that there wouldn't have been much difference. Maybe a couple of teams in the West wouldn't have faced each other, but otherwise it still would have been pretty much the same matchups. So, it seems to me, I don't know, in this instance, it just seemed to me like much ado about nothing. I mean, people were bitching about the last format, how they didn't like it, and hell, back, as I said, I'm old enough to remember when they had the old Patrick division and Norris division, people used to bitch about that because you used to see teams with only 64 points making the playoffs, which was really bad. If you played in a really craptacular division back then, which I believe the Norris division used to be. That used to be the one when the Leafs and that used to be back in the mid to late 80s. Yes. when the Leafs and Wings were horrible. When
Alan Bester was the goalie for the Leafs, and Glenn Hanlon, I think, was the goalie for the Red Wings at that point.
And yeah, they'd have something like 64 points, but would make the playoffs because they were second in their division. Whereas teams that had 80 or 90 points or 95 points in a strong division wouldn't make the cut. That was a bad setup. I didn't have any real beef with the last one. I like the new one now because we don't get into reseeding. That to me I never cared for very much. I don't know why. I just didn't like the whole idea of reseeding after the first round.
I didn't like the reseeding because of my hairline.
Yes, there is that. There is that. Nobody likes it.
Reminded of it every year.
Yeah, yes. It's like, oh, great, we're reseeding.
So did here reseeding. Yeah. But you could also be reseeding your lawn. So.
And then I also flipped the table and left because I was just offended. And then.
So that's how they came up with a new playoff format.
Exactly. All right. Like, listen, we're too many tables are being flipped. We can't have this.
Yeah, flipping tables.
Flipping
That was me last week, flipping tables.
Well, hey, listen, Lau. Windows are a hell of a thing, and you won't when you flip them through a window, it costs a lot.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't the windows. I had the money for the windows. I didn't have the money.
To the windows, to the walls, till.
I didn't have the money for Canada Revenue. So, yeah. Anyway.
No one suspects the Canada Inquisition.
No, they don't. So anyway.
Hey.
At least I'm in a better mood than I was this time last Friday.
We were just going to keep it quiet, Lau, and roll on, but hey.
No, that's okay. I just wanted to, anyway, let you guys know where I'm at emotionally. Anyway, moving on. Anyway.
Is that why you have a baseball bat behind you?
Lau's batting 6 for the Blue Jays this week.
Why not? I couldn't do any freaking worse.
They are terrible.
Lau's like,
it's a Hank Aaron special.
Oh.
Can't go wrong.
Nice.
I've had this bat since 1976. Are you kidding me?
Wow. Look at that.
I know. If I hit a ball with it, it'd probably explode into dust. So yeah.
That bat is officially older than everybody else on the team.
I know.
Pretty much.
I know. I have no problem with that, Johnny. I accepted my senior citizenship a long time ago.
We might have a problem with that.
Lyle's old.
So you got that bat when you were like 4?
Yes, exactly. I was 14.
I mean, that's a massive bat for a 4-year-old.
Hey, don't talk about his bat that way.
14. Yeah. Oh, yeah. 1 minute you're talking about that bat, and then the next thing we're off into Donald Sterling country, you know?
Yep. Yeah. You
Hey,
don't want to.
you don't want to go there.
No one bring up any Pine Tar incidents either.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. I'm like, come on, man. At least try to hide it. Come on. You're not even trying to hide it. That was that. I just burst out laughing when I saw that on the Sports Center.
I have to say, Lyle, you are getting compliments on your looks, though. Saskia Stewart, who I once again condemned earlier for saying that if a convent lives a day later than me, if the world were to, because we were basically on the tirade that the world should end in time zones, so Australia should go first and then all the way back around. And if a convict lives longer than I do just because of international timelines, that's not the God that I want to live with anyway. But she gives you a compliment saying that you look younger, and
Yes.
it could be because of the stash now. You shaved pretty much your playoff beard, and you do look a little bit more swankier. And I think also the combed down hair, looking like the hipster that you are. That helps out a lot too. So Lyle the hipster.
Yes.
Well,
that's what happens when you 50 Shades of Grey. There you go.
Look at you. That looks like cement. That looks like
actually, cement. That's actually, I think that's a new product from Just for Men.
Just for Men cement. Yes, with a complimentary trowel. You just smear it on. There you go.
50 Shades of Grey.
Oh man, I tell you what. Speaking of shaves, a lot of teams are shaving down their front offices, and
boy howdy,
this has been fun times. We started off the show, oddly enough, talking hockey for the most part, Washington Capitals and their situation, and we all took our picks with who we think next GM and coach is going to be. And Lyle, who do you think, before we reveal our picks, who do you think the next GM and coach for the Capitale are going to be?
Well, the coach, I think I think they're going to go with Laviolette. I think they'll go with him. He's got a Stanley Cup on his resume. He also coached the Flyers to the 2010 Cup final. So I mean, he does have a proven track record. He's also a kind of guy that's used to coaching superstars. I think maybe that's something that they're going to want to look for. As far as the GM goes, that's a little tougher. There's a lot of assistant GMs out there that people will be looking at. One thing we know for certain, GM isn't going to Calgary. That was taken care of very quickly.
Boston Pizza in this place, man.
Indeed, but yeah, that one's a tougher call to make. I think they'll probably take a look at the Bruins assistant GM, whose name eludes me for the moment. But if you're looking at a guy, looking to go with teams that know how to build winners, that would be the first place I would call. I mean,
Is that Benning?
yes, I believe that's who it is.
I did. I have read a lot of your pieces about how the Capitals need to change things coming up and all the stuff that you put out on Twitter. So I've been checking that out, and I did fully appreciate. I believe that it was the Washington Post that thinks the Cap should go after both of the Penguins' assistant GMs. They had 2 on the list of potential people. So that was fun.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about Phil Housley coming in there, and either as a coach. I saw him as a coaching candidate. I don't know if that's the way to go. I want to have somebody in there who's used to working with superstar players.
I think I saw Scott Stevens as listed too. I don't know why.
That would be an interesting pick, but I think he's going to be staying with the New Jersey system.
We don't know. We don't need more alumni on this team.
Ron Hextall would be a choice, but I can't shake the feeling that
he's going to be booed up when Holmgren leaves.
Holmgren's going to get relocated in the system. He won't get fired. He'll get promoted.
Right.
Floppy bunny ears and yeah.
Well, for Mark's picks, he picked the Gillis Trotz ticket.
Oh.
Johnny, who'd you pick? You had Fedorov and who?
I didn't pick a coach.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm going to let Fedorov do both.
Okay.
I do like the Gillis Trotz idea. Trotz wouldn't be a bad idea. The thing with Trotz is we don't know how well he would do with a team that has more scoring punch, because he spent all those years with the Predators where he had a lack of talent. But that could be an interesting pick. Maybe, who knows? Maybe this is something he could really work with.
See, Mark says after 17 years that he just got that offensive powerhouse waiting inside him.
Yeah, Mark.
That's a good point. I know he says
that he didn't have the offensive firepower in Nashville, so he became a defensive coach. But boom, offensive coach as soon as he gets a chance.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent point. I don't think you could go wrong with either guy, with Laviolette or Trotz. You got to figure, if you're in the market for a coach, those two have to be at the top of your list.
Plus, Laviolette's head turned red, so you can't be more cat.
He would rock the red.
Yes.
I went with a duo of Paul Fenton and Guy Boucher. So
interesting choices too. Yeah.
I like the Paul Fenton choice. The Guy Boucher choice because I couldn't think of Laviolette.
He wouldn't be too bad though either. I would still take Laviolette over Boucher. That's not bad. But I like your pick for Paul Fenton as GM. I actually think that's better than the pick I suggested.
And considering Paul Fenton is a disciple of David Poile, and David Poile has done a lot of decent moves in Nashville and then prior to that in Washington, I think it probably wouldn't be the worst idea to give him a little.
What do you think, Fenton Trotz? A little reunion there. Predators sort of
could
northeast.
That'd be interesting. The Predators somewhat northeast.
Somewhat northeast. I'm trying to figure my American geography. Sorry.
I think that's close enough northeast.
It's northeast.
It's east by northeast.
Okay.
Yeah. It's probably northeast east.
Yeah.
It's like that in between. It's not exactly northeast on the diagonal.
It's not diagonal. It's kind of just over and a little bit up.
Yeah, it's like the eighth. It's like maybe 10 degrees.
Yeah.
Not really the 15 degrees.
Yeah, you're not going acute. You're going.
No, it's still acute.
All right, good question here by Matt. He says, I don't understand how we're supposed to tell the difference between the front office people. How do they differ? I guess in terms of how, like, all these assistant GMs and stuff like that, how is one different from the other, I guess is what his question is. Like, how would they be differentiated? Easy for me to say.
Well, you got to first of all, you got to consider, assistant GMs tend to do the heavy lifting. They tend to do the negotiations, and they work more closely with the scouting department, things like that. So there's that regard.
I think a lot of experience has a lot to do with it too, because
Yeah.
Paul Fenton's been in that role as AGM for the Predators for years now, whereas someone like Jason Botterill in Pittsburgh hasn't been doing that for that long at all. He's only 34 years old as it is. So,
but he's done a masterful job though for them, as you know, especially in the cap department. How he's been able to juggle the numbers for them and enable them to still ice a competitive team with all those big salaries. I mean, you know, you got to tip your hat to that, definitely.
Oh, for sure, and I mean, it's a lot of it's a question of too is whether or not you want to have a younger GM who's going to be with the team and grow with the team, or if you want a guy who's more experienced, and that's really what it comes down to too, is preferential by the ownership group.
And I think you're starting to see more of that trending, you know, because people looked at well, they look at teams like Chicago, you know, 2 Stanley Cups in 4 years. I mean, yeah, Dale Talon did a lot of the build and laying of the foundation of that franchise, but it was Stan Bowman who came in, younger guy, and put them over the top. Similarly, you look at Peter Chiarelli. I mean, he came in. He remember he was assistant GM for several years with Ottawa. Came into Boston at one of their lowest periods after the first lockout, and he truly built that team into a Stanley Cup champion and a perennial Cup contender. So I think you're starting to see a movement away from a lot of these old school guys toward these younger guys who worked in assistant general manager positions.
It is that new school treatment where it's just almost we have to think of this capology stuff as a real thing.
Yeah, and Steve Yzerman in Tampa Bay is another example too.
Yeah, that's true. But
Marc Bergevin in Montreal.
Yeah, Steve Yzerman just steals waitresses. That's really all our.
We're never gonna let that go.
Nope, it's my hang-up. Always and forever. The hell with that bastard.
Yeah, it was a great. I idolized the guy until that night.
Yeah,
That's actually on my hockey resume, though. I count that as one of the highlights.
Yeah, me too. Waitress stolen by Steve Yzerman.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
You're
sure.
like, oh, tell me about that story.
Yes. Though nothing tops my Dale Hunter encounter.
That's true too. But you know what? If I would
It's immortalized on the cup.
and that was the same damn trip.
Exactly.
It was the same trip.
It was the same trip. Both those instances happened in Minnesota.
And we thought nothing happened in Minnesota.
Well, must be something in the water in those 10,000 lakes.
You know what? If maybe if I put that on my resume, that whole thing wouldn't have got canceled.
That sucked when I heard about that, by the way, Scotty.
Kidding me?
That was fucking bullshit. Use my language.
The whole day that day. I slept the whole day that day. Not because of the pills, yes, because of the but because of the fact that, like, honestly, if you're not going to give a jabroni like me on a last place sports talk station a job just to see what he can do to maybe bump that point up and use social media, what are you doing with your life?
But, I mean, why put that position out there and then take it away? It's almost like, we got this position available. Oh, there's nobody here that we like. Oh, okay, well, fuck it then. We'll just take it away. That was a load of baloney.
Just kidding.
You and I had...
Just kidding.
You and I had a shitty end to last week, my friend.
We did.
Yep.
But
anyway.
Luckily, my antidepressants kicked in on the weekend, and I'm just like, this is great.
So did mine.
Mine actually come in a prescription, so.
Mine do too.
Yay!
It's a number 9.
Yeah, there you go. So anyway.
How do you feel about Old Bay beer? We were debating this, about how this Old Bay Spice. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it.
I've never tried it, so I'm in no position to have an opinion.
Well, I mean, the beer is new, but not Old Bay.
Old Bay is this thing. It's a nice little seasoning right here.
Okay.
Put on crabs and fish and stuff. It's like an Old Spice kind of thing. Let's see what we got in here.
It's not Old Spice.
It's like a seasoning salt, is it?
It's got red and black pepper, salt, paprika, other spices and herbs. Fantastic.
Oh, so it's like a better version of Mrs. Dash.
It's Mrs. Dash, but with a punch in the face.
Lyle, I'll send you some this summer.
There we go.
Okay. Since I'm not going to be able to eat genuine crab cakes, I'll accept that.
They're putting it in an ale, Lyle.
Oh.
They're putting that kind of spice in it. Now they have a thing like the Caesar. You know, they have Caesars. They do that with the Old Bay rather than the whatever they put the spices in. What seasoning do they put on the rim of a Caesar anyway?
On the rim of a Caesar? Oh God, I used to know.
Do you mean a Caesar or do you mean a like Bloody Mary?
Caesar, sure. Hi, Caesar. Do you Caesar? Hi, Caesar.
Is Caesar and a Bloody Mary one and the same?
No.
Bloody Marys use Old Bay here instead of whatever they normally.
A Caesar uses Clamato juice. It's the only thing you'd ever use Clamato juice for.
So it's effectively the same thing. It's just a difference between Clamato and tomato.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. Yeah. It was invented in fun fact. Invented in a Calgary bar.
Yeah.
About 40 years ago, it was
because
invented.
They ran out of tomato juice.
Somebody punched up basically punched up a Bloody Mary and called it a bloody Caesar and Viola. It's all the rage in Canada for some godforsaken reason.
Yep. By the way, celery salted rim.
There it is. Yep. I was thinking celery, but I just remember they always put the celery in there as garnish, which is garbage because.
Yeah, but instead of using the spices that you would normally have, they use Old Bay here.
And it's fantastic.
Well, it sounds good. I mean, hey, I'm all about spices, my friend. So
we got the Old Bay chips too. So
yeah.
This is also a company, or no, not the company. Duke Claw put out the Sweet Baby Jesus, which is the peanut butter cup beer.
It is.
So I got to try that when I go home.
Chocolate peanut butter.
It seems delicious. I also have to try the burger cookie beer. I got a lot of stuff to try when I go home.
We will definitely be. I will definitely find some of the burger cookie beer.
I already have that on reserve. One of my friends already picked that up. She's like, it's a seasonal beer, so I'm gonna pick it up, and when you come down in May, we're gonna drink it up. I'm like, hell yeah.
When was it seasonal? Did I miss it?
I think it's winter.
Oh, well, it's still winter. It's like 45 degrees here.
This is true, and it's also raining. So, and it's snowing here on the weekend. So, still go for it.
All right.
Man, I tell you what about snows, Lyle. The snow is about to fall, and I don't know where they go with this.
You can do it. Come on.
Hold on. The snow is long, Lyle, for the winter here, and so is Jaromir Jagr's career. Oh, there it is.
Didn't know if you were gonna hang on there, Scotty. Thought you were gonna lose her, buddy.
Thank you there. Thank you, Roach there.
Thought you were gonna lose her.
Oh my God.
Way to keep her between the ditches, my friend.
Speaking of salt and pepper.
Oh,
talk about Jagr's beard.
Another good one.
Yes, there you go. Even better.
42 years old, re-signing with the New Jersey Devils. The Devils MVP this year.
Mm-hmm. I know, as funny as that sounds, but it's true, as Kurt Angle would say. It's true.
So here's the ironic part about the entire thing. Of all the people that have played hockey throughout the time that I've been alive, I feel like Jaromir Jagr would be the one guy that would play until he's 50. Because he never skated when he was younger. He was just always in really good positions. And he was bigger and
he'll be your generation's Gordie Howe. Because see, I'm old enough to remember when Gordie Howe was playing into his 50s. So he could be your generation's Gordie Howe.
I feel like Jaromir Jagr is he's still doing the same things that I remember him doing. He's just a little bit slower at doing them, whereas he was just slow before.
And luckily in the Devil's system, it doesn't get lost.
No.
It's right.
I have to confess, I have to say, I was wrong. When they signed him last summer, I laughed. I said, well, that's out of desperation. Because I just remember how he looked so slow in last year's playoffs. And I got so much flack for saying that from Boston fans. Of course, now that he's not with the team, Jaga, fuck him, he's too slow. I don't know why anybody from Boston would talk with a Brooklyn accent, but anyway.
It's like a Boston pizza.
Whoa.
I don't know what happened there, Lyle.
I don't know. Yeah, Boston pizza if it was East Side Mario's. Hey, bada boom, bada bing. Yeah. But,
let me tell you that, Lyle, look, Yami Yagi was wicked awful.
Yeah, he was wicked awful. When he was in Boston, he was wicked awful. Yeah. But... honest to God, when that happened, I just chuckled at that. Well, that's out of desperation. And lo and behold, he really was their best player through most of the season. I kept waiting as the season went on. It's like, okay, he's going to start slowing down and the offense is going to dry up. And it never did. You got to consider for a guy who's, 42 years old to score, almost 65 points in a season? That's impressive. I don't care who you are. So.
And didn't he play in the Olympics too?
Yes.
He did.
Yes, he did. So
And
give
you
it
have
up
to
to
figure-
Yami.
You have to figure last year you could have given him a pass to for the fact that it not only was a shortened season, but did he start out in Dallas or no?
Yes, he did. He started out in Dallas and then got dealt at the deadline or just before the deadline to Boston.
Systems
Yeah.
as well. So he probably got used to the Dallas system. He's like, oh, I got to change gears now. The hell with this.
And he was really snake bit too in that final. I mean, good God, he was ringing them off the posts and missing open nets. It was like he couldn't buy a goal. But he had no trouble this year, and like I said, I mean, hey, well earned, and hopefully he has another good year because he's going to be up for. He was passing milestones left and right this year. I mean, past Marc Messier and his old teammate Mario Lemieux and Yzerman, the waitress stealer, and yeah, so keep on going. More power to you, Yami.
Exactly. I still never forgive him for being a Washington Capital, though.
I'm sure that's something he doesn't. Though I got to tell you, one of the funniest things that I've ever seen was when he was playing with Dallas, and those guys followed him around, and they all wore the mullets. With each one of them wore a different jersey to represent each. And he saw them in the stands that night during the warm-ups, and he couldn't help but laugh. I mean, that was great.
That was good.
Yeah,
I think my most vivid memory of Jaromir Jagr when he was playing for the Capitals. He was playing in an all-star game, and on the bench, they asked him a question, and they said something to the effect of, "So you're a -1 tonight in the game. How's that? How are you going to turn that around, or how does that make you feel, or something like that?" And his response was, "Well, I'm getting used to it at this point."
Just that.
Youch.
That was when you knew it was all going to go downhill in Washington.
Oh yeah, it was all over then.
By the looks of it, looks like the Rangers might be moving on, barring a crazy third period, which
Hey,
not uncalled for
it
in this.
has happened before.
playoffs.
Many times in this, and it's only a 2-goal lead too. So
Worst lead in hockey.
Yeah.
Unless you're the Penguins, and that's a 4 lead where it's the worst.
you know what? I mean, give it up to the Columbus Blue Jackets, man. I mean, any other team who goes down 3-0 or 4-0 to the Penguins, most of them go, okay, we're done. And they just kept fighting back. So, bright future there, I think, in the CBJ.
To which point do we just say, the hell with Marc-Andre Fleury, enough of this, we can't deal with him anymore?
They're stuck. Well, they're stuck with him. They're stuck with him. They're gonna carry on with him, and then for better for worse, at least for the rest of this season. But you got to figure, man. I mean, if he doesn't improve, if they get bounced in the next round, and if he doesn't play well, oh yeah, he's gone. I mean, listen, he wasn't bad throughout that series. You know, I mean, but he did have a couple of games where, yeah, he really did melt down. And I tell you, though, you know, we hear so much about the Penguins and the young defense they've got and everything like that, but my God, their defense is horrible. Just horrible.
It's terrible.
Terrible.
It's just terrible. Ernie, it's terrible. I don't know what to tell you about that.
Terrible.
Nikiskinen? Nikiskinen? I don't know about him.
Terrible.
Paul Martin, he used to be Prime Minister. I
would pay Charles Barkley to do hockey coverage like he does the NCAA tournament. Oh yeah.
How did he do the NCAA tournament? I didn't even see that.
He's god awful on the NCAA tournament. It's like he's never watched basketball before in his life.
Well,
like, put him on a pro bench or a pro like panel, and he's good to go. Talk about college basketball. He doesn't know shit about college basketball. So.
Oh wow, the Raps are up huge. Holy
really?
62-44 at the half.
Oh
boy, howdy.
Mm-hmm.
Toronto represent. The only good thing Toronto has right now, because Toronto FC is starting to go downhill a bit.
Well, there's no surprise there.
Yeah, well, hey, you thought it was promising when they beat the Sounders.
Isn't Defoe hurt right now?
Yep.
Yeah, I thought so.
All their promotional dollars they put into him, and now he's on injured list.
Yeah.
Goody.
That's what happens when you buy people from the EPL and make them play on artificial turf all the time.
It's a bloody big deal. Those commercials are annoying as shit. In any case, speaking of annoying as shit, Ryan Miller and his situation going into the summer, Lyle. What can we expect? Is Anaheim still the destination? Do you think Anaheim is the place to be?
Honestly, no. They've they have got a very good young goaltender in Frederick Anderson.
Hmm.
The hell is that? They've got they've got like I said, Frederick Anderson. John Gibson is the is the prize. I mean, he's the kid that they just talk about so much, and they're probably going to bring him up next year. They'll stick with obviously they've got with Hiller for now for the rest of the playoffs to bail out Anderson if needed. But after what we saw Ryan Miller, and that's basically down the stretch with the Blues. I think we can all agree he's not going to get a big money deal. That's for darn sure.
He shouldn't.
No, you're insane if you do. Unless maybe unless he wants to go to New York Islanders, I'm sure they'll happily pony up whatever he wants for a long-term deal.
Wow, they got to get to the salary floor somehow.
But maybe if he's willing to accept a 1-year deal and maybe for under $5 million. The Ducks might look at it. I don't know. At this stage, I really don't think that's the direction that the Ducks are going to be leaning in at all. But there's he's going to talk with Blues management. He said that he would be interested in staying, but contract talks so far hadn't been that serious. That's understandable, of course, up to that point. Doug Armstrong says, "Oh yeah, I'll meet with Miller in the next few days, see where he sees himself." But honestly, I think you're going to see it's going to be Jake Allen gets the call up next year. Doug Armstrong's already said Allen will be on part of their goalie tandem next year. It's just a matter of figuring out if Ryan Miller or Brian Elliott are going to be there in the backup. Quite honestly, depending on what Miller's going to be asking for, you might be better off just keeping Elliott, be your backup, go with Jake Allen as your starter, and just go from there. And then use use the cap savings to go and maybe bolster your scoring, because that was an issue for the Blues in that series against the Blackhawks. I mean, after the first 2 games, the offense just started to dry up. So they could probably use a game-breaking scorer. But I mean, as far as Miller goes, I really don't see how there's a future there for him as well, unless he's willing to take a discount. But I mean, look, you tried Ryan Miller, you brought in Yaroslav Halak a couple of years ago. You went outside your system twice, outside your organization twice, and it didn't work. So why not look to within and see how it goes from there? I mean, who knows? Maybe the kid's the guy that can do it for you. Give him a shot. See how it goes over the course of the season. If it doesn't work out, you can always swing a trade, or look toward free agency if there's anybody left. Maybe Ryan Miller will still be available by then.
Yeah, I think Ryan Miller's going to be the last guy signed in free agency.
Well, if he's like I said, the only place I see where they'll be willing to pony up big money for him on a long-term deal would be the Islanders, because they're so desperate for a decent starting goaltender just to get them into the playoffs. I'm sure they would pounce if he was willing to jump on that. I mean, yeah, I'm sure they would happily do it. But other than that, your list of candidates drops substantially.
Maybe San Jose Sharks if Niemi can't get the job done.
No, I think they'd stick with Stalock. I mean,
Well, stay locked.
Stay locked. Yeah. Boy, that. Wow.
They're not helping their whole thing about being jokers. But I tell you, Lyle, last week I came on here and said, "Hey, remember the time when me and Lyle said the LA Kings were the most dangerous team in the playoffs? Man, were we wrong."
And then this week, Scotty goes, "Hey, remember when me and Lyle said last week that the Kings were the most dangerous team in the playoffs, and we laughed about it? Boy, were we wrong." And then, if the Sharks blow this, I mean, what do? I mean, you can't blow
team to Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean, you can't blow up the roster because you got all your core guys are locked up to long-term deals. So the next thing you do, what's going to be the obvious thing? I think McClellan gets punted. The coach becomes the skate, and there may be some legitimacy to that. I mean, he's been with them 4 years now, hasn't been able to get them very far. So maybe you go and jump into the coaching market yourself. Maybe you go after Barry Trotz or Peter Laviolette.
Oh, Lyle, I just thought of something. Thought of something here.
Uh-oh.
Let's go Kings. McCullen to the Caps. No? All right.
Say it again.
I was pretty certain that everything just froze.
I said let's go Kings, McClellan to the Caps.
Ah, okay. Oh.
So
hold on. Does
That's
he
a possibility.
also bring the video pads with him?
well, obviously he brings the video pads with him. That's
Okay, then I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I like technology on the bench.
Yeah. Sorry, I misunderstood what you were saying for a second there, Scotty. My bad.
Well, I think McClellan is a guy who would give the Caps what they need in terms of offensive output and somewhat defensive responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's going to be a lot more patient with the goalies than the past 45 coaches that the Caps have had in the past 2 years.
Mm.
So I don't know. I mean, I think that would be a decent dynamic, but right now it's not an option. So.
Yeah, but like I said though, if the Sharks blow this one, then there's the shingle that hangs over them as NHL's biggest choke artists. You can't shed that label after. That's just the epitome. So they could then turn around and go, well, yeah, but Boston, did the same thing 4 years ago, and then the following season they won a Stanley Cup. But well.
Yeah, but they also didn't have the track record that the Sharks have had.
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
Relays.
Tell you something, if the St. Louis Blues aren't careful, they'll take over that title from the San Jose Sharks one day.
This is true. Last, you know what? I'm looking at the last since the lockout. They've only not made it past the first round twice.
That's not bad.
Who's that? San Jose?
San Jose. Second round out in 06, second round out 07, second round out 08, first round out 09, conference finals 10, conference finals 11, first round out 12, and then 2 rounds out last year, and this year tied at 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's not terrible, but again, it's not optimal.
But these guys have been built up so much as a cup contender, and they were always, for the longest time, they've been among the top teams in the Western Conference for years, basically since Joe Thornton joined them. We're talking 8-9 years now. Flyers are on the board. Atkinson and the Flyers are on the board.
Yeah.
With 15:28 remaining in the third. Hang on a second.
All right.
Go Flyers.
Who scored that one, Lyle?
Atkinson, I believe.
I loved it.
Yes, Atkinson with 15:28.
All right.
As we update our individual Twitter feeds.
Exactly. I'm just looking at that, and I didn't even know who the hell that was.
Twitter anymore. Twitter's such bullshit. I'm just kidding.
What? How dare ye?
I have less tweets than most people have followers.
Amazing.
Yeah. A lot of people use it for the sole purpose of social media, which is for what it's to be used for. Whereas I just tend mainly to use it for hockey.
Some people use it for the sole purpose of self-promotion.
Hi.
Like me.
Hi, my name is Scotty Was. How are you guys?
Hi there.
Hi, I will hoard anything and everything.
What's her name?
What?
Yes.
You would hoard anything and everything.
You can find us at our site, MediaHorrors.com. Oh, I'm sorry, that's an old political site. But it works. What the hell? MediaHorrors.com.
Yeah.
Well, we'll just change it. We'll get Sean to pick up BroadcastHorse.com, and we'll be fine.
There you go, Broadcast Horse, and it'll be Broadcast Horse. But then the way you pronounce it, you can just have a picture of a horse's head and Broadcast Horse, and we'll call it the Horse.
It'll be me and Jockey Silks.
Yeah, welcome aboard the Horse. We're your hosts. Come ride
the horse.
MediaHorse.com redirects to Norton antivirus.
Boom! Oh, I know. As I said, that site died years ago. It was a political site about 10 years ago. They used to call it the Horse. Yeah.
Don't type in dicks.com.
Words of advice, indeed.
Just throwing that out there.
Throwing that out there. Yeah.
Unless you like that, then by all means.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you like it, then go for it.
Exactly. That's going to be on the back of our T-shirt.
If that's your sort of thing,
go for it.
Wasn't that so Jimmy Fallon one night did a spoof on like Chick-fil-A?
Chick-fil-A.
He was like, yeah, so Chick-fil-A is talking about coming into New York, and they're trying to back away from all the gay rights comments that they made. So their new slogan is Chick-fil-A or Dude-fil-A, whatever you like.
Oh, Jimmy Fallon.
Ah.
I don't watch late night TV, so I can't say one way or the other.
Okay, so this is probably bad because I watch late night TV on demand.
That's not bad. Depends on who you're watching. We enjoy Craig Ferguson. He's really funny. Really like Craigers there. He's really funny.
I feel like he got passed over for that extra slot that was left.
Yeah, but he claims that he wasn't ready for it. So I mean, it's not like he's got a bad bio package. I mean, something like between 8 to 12 million he gets. So don't feel bad for Craig Ferguson when he leaves the show at the end of the year. He will be doing quite well. He'll be doing quite well.
Yeah.
I always like when he has Billy Connolly on and they reminisce about their time together in Scotland. That's hilarious. But that's just me.
That is just you, though.
Yes.
I
appreciate Scottish humor.
I'm trying to think right now, because by the time we meet again, the Canadiens Bruins series will be 4 games in.
Yeah.
So.
Are we doing the Orb thing, or?
We might. It's really a wash right now. The Orb sucks. Honestly,
I think the Orb. Hold on. Let me ask the Orb a question.
Sure.
Well, I'm gonna use the fortune-telling panda.
Okay, same thing.
The Orb's lost his shit. Fortune-telling panda, are you ready to concede to Lyle?
Okay.
And yes.
Yes! I win! In your face, Orb! You have to hide behind a panda.
The panda's throwing in a towel.
It says, sometimes your nearness takes my breath away, and all the things I want to say can find no voice. Then in silence I can only hope my eyes will speak my heart.
Well, so they have breath mints for that, so,
Yeah, so apparently the panda was like, fuck it, I'm out.
Yeah. The panda was like Mickey thrown in the towel.
Yeah.
Back to the Rocky reference. So.
Or I could go really old school WWF and say he was like Arnold Skolin throwing in the towel when the Iron Sheik had Bob Backlund in the camel clutch.
This is true.
I'm going back 31 years for that reference, kids. You better appreciate. I had to blow the dust off that one. Here you go.
Who's
That's almost as old as the bat.
It is almost as old as that.
Yes. Almost as old as the 76 Hank Aaron special.
Lyle, is it special that we're seeing all the people we had on hockey cards as GMs now? Ronnie Franchise, the latest one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to feel about that.
You're getting older. Trust me, I felt the same way 20 years ago when I started seeing guys like Bobby Clark and Bob Gainey and Serge Savard becoming general managers, because those are, I'm like, wait a minute, how can they be general managers? I just remember seeing them playing.
See, there's that, and then I see Brad Treliving being the new Calgary GM, and I'm just like, oh, this guy's Boston Pizza money. I don't know how to feel about that. And they had their press conference, and then the next day, the press conference about Peter Marr retiring. They have the biggest press conference ever in Flames history. Go out to that, and I'm like, well, is that an ominous sign that no one attended the GM conference, or what?
Because they really don't. Well, they really didn't know the guy. I'm sure if it had been a bigger
Pizza tacos, Lyle,
if it had been GM, they would have slammed the place. Because at least it's like, oh, that's a name we recognize. Everybody's like, who? The assistant GM from where? Well, let's show up and see if Berkey says something dumb.
Lyle, he was looking sharp, by the way.
Oh, of course he was. Of course he was.
Tie done up.
Yeah.
Hold on. He had his tie tied?
Amazing. He even said it himself at the press conference.
Yes, he's lost a bit of weight around his neck, so he can get his collar done up now with his tie.
Amazing.
That is amazing.
Yes.
I don't like the new NHL.
I know.
I'm going to say that now. I don't like it. I don't like where the NHL is headed.
His new hairdo and new tie is 15% faster.
Yeah, I bet his tie wicks wet too.
Exactly.
Yes, it does. It does. It's made of wick-away fabric, and yeah, it's just awesome.
Speaking of that, why hasn't Under Armour made dress shirts yet? Sorry. Go ahead, Scotty.
They have. I have dress.
You have a full button-down Under Armour dress
I have
shirt?
it's a short sleeve, but it's still like a dress shirt. It's a button
Really?
down. Yeah.
Are you
Really?
sure it's not a polo?
Yeah, no, it's a button down. It's a black
Wow.
button down.
You'll have to break that out and show us next week.
I will.
All right, well then. I
All of a
guess
sudden,
that's it.
like what I thought was a really funny joke by Johnny
I
turned
thought
out
it
to
was
be,
a joke.
not quite so funny after all. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, you guys
Jokes on us, Johnny, I guess.
This is,
right there-
this
it's
is
right
my
there in my
life in a
closet.
nutshell.
I'll be right back. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
Oh.
I'll give you a topic.
Okay.
Finger cooking with Bill, great or greatest ad ever?
That ad sucks. There you go.
I don't know this ad at
Yeah,
all.
no, and count yourself lucky that you don't. It contains one of the most annoying pitchmen ever. He's not as annoying as the shticky guy, but still.
If I was gonna go a talk amongst yourselves, it would have been Art Ross. Yes.
Ooh.
Go.
Art Ross. Well, obviously Sidney Crosby.
All right. Well, that's
your Vezina Trophy, the nominees. What do you think about that one, Johnny? Do you like the picks for this year?
I have not seen them.
Okay, it's Varlamov, Ben Bishop, my guy, and oh shoot, who's the third one? I just drew a blank. That's terrible.
So it's basically the people we thought that it was going to
Pretty
be
much.
without having the list.
Pretty much. Okay, Norris Trophy. This one kind of got predictable. Zdeno Chara, Shea Weber,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, who's the third guy? Oh man. Okay, that's enough blueberry beer for me. Holy crap. I'm starting to lose.
Blueberries.
Yeah, blueberry. It's a blueberry beer.
Wow.
The blueberry ale, and it's very, very nice. A lot of blueberry ales I've tried tend to be rather dry, like almost too dry, but this one is very nice and flavorful.
Yeah. Normally the fruit beers that I'm used to have a weird aftertaste.
Yeah, they can be almost kind of like almost like a dryness, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't have the right sugars in it or stuff like that. So
A little too
I'm
much
not
citrus in
exactly
there, I
sure.
think. A little too much citrus. Yeah.
I agree completely.
Ooh.
Nice little button up.
Well.
UA logo on it.
And it's collar. It's got a collar too.
Collared. Yeah.
Wow.
I am impressed. Actually, seriously,
I did
am.
not know that.
No.
There
That
you go.
actually looks kind of nice. Yeah.
It is. It's nice and a little too small though, but
You should wear that to the draft.
I should.
Mhm.
Date 2. Bantamware.
The
Also-
irony. Okay, so the irony this year of the draft on day 2 is that I've never been to day 2 of the draft.
You're not missing much.
You're not missing much.
Of me because it normally occurs because I'm drunk.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
This year it'll occur because I'm running a fitness test.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which is kind of funny when you think of it. Your usual tradition, day 2 on the draft, and you've got to be in good physical condition.
I can't even drink the night of the draft.
Oh, that. I don't feel so bad. I mean, I'll be stuck here. I mean, drinking and going, feeling sorry for all I'm going to be missing. But at least I'll be able to drink. I don't have to run a fitness test the next day.
But here's the best part about the entire thing is that Saturday night I'm going to be fucked. Because I in no way, shape, or form would have eaten anything throughout the day, and I just ran a fitness test.
Oh man, that alcohol is going to be like an express train to the brain when it hits your bloodstream.
True story, and it only takes me 2 in the first place, so like 1.5. I'm done.
The way you go.
It is over for Johnny.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
So it'll be Zombie Johnny by about 11 p.m., maybe sooner.
But God willing. To be honest.
Zombie Johnny. Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a hoot and a half, Lyles, what we like to call it.
Oh, I know it will be. But you don't miss very much on day 2 of the draft anyway,
day 2.
Johnny. Day 2, I just amused myself sitting back and looking at everybody nursing the really bad hangovers.
Yeah, but I'm only there for the pictures.
Yeah.
And you don't get pictures in day 2, so I mean.
No, you really don't.
I mean, I'm quite literally worthless to the show if I go to.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
All I do is take pictures for us.
You can be the ride. You can be you're a ride. How are we gonna get there and back?
Like mustache rides?
Not that kind of ride. Anyway.
Oh, okay. Actually,
Ride
rides,
the car ride. Yeah.
Okay, good. As long as there's no sign that says you must be this tall.
No,
then
no.
I'm fine.
Fuck. Let's talk about something else, and I'm starting to get pissed off again. Anyway. Excuse the language, but
sorry.
Fuck.
But when we look at the second round, Lau, can we expect more of these blown leads to happen? Like this almost seems like it's the playoffs with a blown lead.
It certainly does. I don't see any reason why there wouldn't be to expect a change in this trend. I mean, you could say, wow, they're in the second round, it'll tighten up more, but it's like, Jesus, if you're not prepared to tighten up your game as you're progressing through the first round, I mean, and especially Pittsburgh. I mean, that defense is just horrific. So I don't really see very much change going on there. I mean, that's going to be free for all hockey. Colorado, if they get into the second round, I mean, again, they rely heavily on Semyon Varlamov. They got a terrific offense, terrific goaltender, and that defense, not so good. So, just those two teams alone, it's going to be adventure time.
Finn and Jake, nice, I like it. Oh, here's one. If we're gonna, you know what? I'll bookend it with the Caps.
Sure.
Wayne Gretzky.
Oh.
Mutual interest. What the hell does that even mean?
What mutual? Oh dear.
Mutual interest with talking with the Capitals.
Oh, I hope it's not in a management or coaching.
Wow, this is what it's come to.
No. If he wants to be like. If he wants to be like team president or something, president of hockey operations, okay, that's kind of okay, but don't make him general manager. Don't make him coach. Please don't do that. Don't do that. No.
No. I don't think he's going to be. I think he's going to be P-Hop, if anything.
Yeah. That's fine. That's fine. But as long as he's willing to, yes, he has input in hockey decisions, obviously, but. As long as you let the GM do what he's got to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't want a figurehead there.
Listen, Wayne, we'll give you your money when it's due to you. Just stay out of our situation.
I understand. Yeah, I understand why Gretzky wants to get back in the game, and the NHL needs to heal that rift with him and everything like that, obviously. But for God's sake, any team worth your salt, don't bring him in as a coach. Don't bring him in as a general manager. Director of Hockey Operations, President of Hockey Operations, fine, but no.
Apparently 3 places he said he'd go to is Washington, Rangers, and Toronto. So, considering the Toronto thing is filled...
the Rangers thing, I don't see that happen. I think he honestly, when he says the Rangers, I think he's angling for the GM job because, Sather's not going to be there forever. And Messier's already stomped out in a huff because he got tired of waiting for Slats to give it up. So maybe Gretzky's angling for that job. I mean, he's waited this long. He's saying, I can wait as long as you can.
Exactly. I got nothing to do except for looking after my daughter. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he can do that on his phone.
Yeah.
That's true. By the way, I almost bought a Golf Digest. I don't know why Boyd promoted me to buy that. I don't know.
It was probably your short game.
Yes, short game.
See, I can't do that because I remember seeing pictures of her when she was just like a little girl, and that just makes me feel creepy. So no.
Luckily, I haven't.
You haven't. You didn't.
Honestly, that never stopped me from the Olsen twins either. So.
Well, the Olsen twins are creepy. Period.
Or Hannah Montana. So.
That's just. Arf.
Anyone on Disney, essentially.
You mean new Hannah Montana or old Hannah Montana?
Yes.
Wow.
There you go. Equal opportunity Lech. There you go.
Exactly. By the way, Sasky chimes in and says that day 2 of the draft is for crying into your Australian flag. Which he did in Pittsburgh because of the whole man. Although, if you listen to the farm report, you realize that Nathan Walker is... third time's a charm, it seems. He will be in the draft once again his last year of eligibility after playing a year in the AHL.
Nice.
So
if he goes through undrafted again, the Capitals can sign him.
Yes.
Yes, he can be signed as a free agent.
Okay.
And he probably will be signed hours after.
So does he have to go through the draft again?
Yes.
Yes.
I got you.
Because he's a European import.
I did not understand that rule.
Yeah. European import, and I think they have 3 years eligibility, rather North Americans have 2 years.
Yep.
So,
there's that.
Hey,
That is what is up. Lyle, any
Yeah,
parting
but
shots
that's
before we get out of here for this week?
Nah, I think we pretty much covered it, guys.
Nice. Well, you're gonna have a fun time, I'm sure, with this whole Bruins Canadian series that won't cause any stress or anxiety. I think you'll just be fine, right? I mean,
Oh, absolutely. Listen, it's very simple. It's very simple. I'm of two minds. The Habs fan in me, of course, will be cheering for them. The sports writer in me is predicting Bruins in 7. There you go.
interesting.
I have no problem living with the split. There you go.
There
yes,
you go.
that's smart. Hedging your bets.
Exactly. Exactly.
How I've made it through life.
Yes.
There we go. All right. Well, Lyle, it's been fun. It's been real. It's been real fun. We will talk to you next week, sir. And,
Absolutely.
When second round will be in full swing. Huzzah, huzzah.
Mm-hmm.
All righty. Well, we'll take care, Lyle. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week, guys. Take care.
Bye.
See you, Lyle.
There goes Lyle. Oh, poor Lyle. I feel bad for him. But hey, we sold
I
you
got
on.
him something still.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
We got that going for us then.
Yeah. I'll send it to him.
There you go. So yeah,
Before the draft.
that's my Under Armour button up too. So I was
The
surprised I
Under Armour
found it.
button-up is nice.
It's nice, and like I don't wear it enough because it's a double XL, and I usually wear a tray X. So I kind of.
I only have the golf shirt. I've never seen a full button-up Under Armour top.
Yeah, no, I found it at the outlet down there in Bernie.
So it was a mistake.
Essentially. Essentially.
They were
So-
like, shit, this isn't a golf shirt.
Well, I was fine with it. I was in a button-up phase at that point, so it worked out perfectly. But
Did you wear that with the 3/4 length pants?
oh, how great would that be?
I think you should. It's like
I'd just be a
it's kind of
douche.
like a mullet almost, but it's like party up top and like
I'd be everyone's gym
up
teacher
top
from-
and party on the bottom.
I'd be every gym teacher in St. Joe.
Yes, true story. Yeah. If there's any more of an awkward look than the polo tucked into like Trek pants, I don't think that there's a more awkward look out there.
That's already established?
Yeah, that people use. I mean, I'm sure we can make up a more awkward look. I don't like the track pants and the polo top thing. If you're gonna wear track pants, like rock a t-shirt.
Yeah, rock a t-shirt or rock a hoodie.
Yeah.
Let's not go crazy with
Go all casual with it. You don't have to be half and half.
We call that Sean O Couture.
True. Actually, you know what that is? That's all Sean.
That is Sean all day, every day.
With sandals.
With sandals with
Not
socks.
in Key West though.
No, not in Key West because they think
No.
you're. All right, Johnny, you want to get the shout-outs, bro?
Sure. I will give a shout out to Spring. Actually, this is more of a diss because the weather is really fucking with my system right now.
I bet.
My body hates everything that's going on, but the best thing about it is that I'm sleeping a lot too.
There you go.
So I have been sleeping a ton recently. So I have a shout out to sleeping. What else? I have a shout out to the new TV. It's done well. It's a mainstay in the house. I've gotten to the point where I am confused with myself as to why I did not do this earlier. Almost pissed off at myself, but not quite to that
Well, you're
point.
living that hipster lifestyle. You had a Motorola Razr and you had a cathode ray tubes TV.
It's true. I'm really happy I'm out of the hipster lifestyle. That was bullshit. And what else? I have a shout out to a party I'm going to this weekend.
Oh.
It will be the party to end all parties for the coolest 2-year-old that I know. So I'm heading over to the friend's house to hang out with Reese. She's awesome, fun little kid. She watched the Monaco Grand Prix with me last year.
Nice.
Only because I stole the batteries out of the remote. But yeah, that is a pro move, by the way, for anybody watching children. You put the TV on what you want it to. you take the batteries out, and you hand the kid the remote.
Perfect.
Just, for your parenting tips for a single guy out there. And yeah. Wow. I will shout out the World Cup again.
All right.
And I don't know why, but I'm probably just going to shout out the World Cup until it shows up.
That works for me.
So yeah, I think I'm done. I think
Cool.
I'm good.
I like to shout out Cymbalta for helping me sleep. That's a huge fun relief. Shout out Under Armour for making button downs that people don't know about, even though they're probably misprints, but whatever. I profited off of it.
So the ironic part is that I actually live in Baltimore.
Exactly.
Like close enough to Baltimore.
Yeah. You can just go ahead and go, dude, you can go to the outlet store, check it out there. It's like all kinds of crazy shit for like half off.
Nice, I will.
Yeah, it's great. It's good fun. This to local sports radio for obvious reasons. And shout out to Montreal Steak Spice Dutch Crunch Kettle Corn Chips. Fantastic. Much a spicy.
That is one hell of a name too.
Yeah, no, it's right. It's right here. The Dutch Crunch. You got this Montreal Steak Spice and kettle corn and all kinds of crazy shit with this goddamn thing. It's amazing. It's an amazing thing. It's no crab chips. I'll give you that. And shout out Crab Ale too. Big ups. Shout out to Sasky and Matt for listening in. Thank you guys for your questions and comments and concerns. And everyone else who listened out there who did not participate. We're not going to hold it against you, but let's just say we're disappointed. Not really. That's it. That's all. The hell with it. We're done. For Jenny P. Mark with a C, I'm Scotty Waz. Take care of yourself and someone else. It's been Face Off Hockey Show on faceoffhockeyshow.com, which is also our Tumblr. Check us out on the Facebook, too. FOHS Radio is the /afterthefacebook.com, and on Twitter at FaceOffHTKY Show. But until next week, peace.